Week 6, the halfway point. We are midway through this 2014 Faux Flo League season. I am your league analyst, Spencer Brodden, and we have a very special double stamp tonight with Michael Burdican and Jake Hansen on the line over the fiber optic cables that go all the way up to Roselle, Minnesota, and the other ones that go all the way east to Columbus, Ohio. Here is League Commissioner Tony Davis. What do you got from weeks 5 and 6?
We got a lot to talk about in a short period of time. That's why we got two of my favorite people on the screen here. Hopefully it looks okay in the video. Things that stood out for me. The Birdman has been easily the most excited person for his mushroom stamp this year. So I'm really excited to talk to him. And Jake, again, 2 wins, 2 stamps. So, you know, pretty impressive for him. He's got a good team, maybe just some bad luck. I think that's kind of a theme in our league this year.
I think so, yeah. Some high-scoring teams near the bottom of the standings right now. 2 of them, well, not near the bottom, middle-ish kind of. You know what happens. You score some points. If you don't win a lot, at least you're not at the very bottom. But so we're going to talk to these 2 fellas right now, starting with Week 5's champion, Michael Burdican.
Yep, and the screen might kind of cut in and out from Jake to Bird. In fact, it's frozen on Jake's face right now. It looks really awesome. So,
this is going on YouTube, James. You'll love it, man.
There's Bird, okay. All right, shoot away, Spence.
All right, Bird. So, Week 5, you're super pumped. What do you have to say, first off, a little bit kind of retroactively to your vanquished foe from Week 5?
Well, first of all, on a serious note, it's great to be back on the Mushroom Stamp Show. It's been about a year and a half since my last stamp, and I know that everybody just thinks I'm going to come on here and just take shots at Flo, my rival. And I just want you to know that I'm not going to do that. It's actually going to be the exact opposite. I'm really proud of Steve, and I know I speak for most of the league when I say congratulations on finally moving out of your mom's house at age 26. A lot sooner than we all thought, man.
Growing up. We're all growing up, aren't we? That's great. I like.
I forget who I played in Week 5.
I don't remember either.
There was Bird in your head, so who cares? Or it was Bees, I mean, in your head.
It's all in the views, guys.
Oh, man. What are you drinking there, Bird?
Oh, the Roselle Special, baby. Coors Light.
That's what they call it, I think. I heard that.
Bird, have there been any special or specific challenges that you faced being 6 hours north of here this season and trying to navigate a team through the murky waters of fantasy?
Well, for a while, I didn't have any furniture, so I was sleeping on the floor, and I had a folding table and chairs and all my furniture. So that was a real challenge for me.
Sure.
That sounds like it.
The greatest always find a way to overcome. So that's
still had internet, I guess. But
yeah, I had to steal internet from my neighbors to play.
Well, you're 3-3, Bird. You're 3-3 right now. You're probably going to have to go at least 4-2 second half of the season. Tell us a little bit about how you see your prospects for the next 6 weeks here.
If it was the last week, I would have felt pretty good. But then I had this. The last game was one of those games that you have when you're favored to win by 35 points, and you don't see a way that you're going to lose, and then you get blown out. So right now I feel kind of shitty about fantasy prospects, but I think me and Connor are favored to somehow tie this week. So we'll see what happens. You don't play the game on ESPN projections; you play it on the field.
As Kenny Mayne would say, you play it inside TV boxes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Well, thanks for your time, Birdman.
Stick around.
Yeah. We'll get your predictions for the upcoming week here in a minute. But for now, we're going to go to week 6. Stamp champ.
Yeah, well, it's
Let's do it. Let's go to Jake.
Jake Hansen. You want to?
Yeah, I'll ask Jake a
You want to
question
ask
or
Jake
two.
some questions?
Jake,
Sure.
you ready over there?
Yep.
Fall asleep.
All right, excellent. So like we were saying, you're 2-4. You got 2 mushroom stamps. You've already made $20. How do you feel about your team right now? Are you safe from the Futility Bowl at 2-4? Do you still think you can make the playoffs? Are you trying to make the playoffs?
I think so. I mean, I think one win, one of those losses go the other way. I'm in 5th, so I don't see why not. My team is heating up a little bit. I think sitting at the very bottom of the league for like 4 weeks in a row kind of helps pick up some good players off the waiver wire. So I'm hoping this will kind of turn me around a little bit. I feel like I'm always playing the wrong player, though, so we'll hopefully try and correct that.
That's true. And speaking of the waiver wire, you mentioned earlier when we were talking off camera about potentially adding a 5th roster spot. Do you want to maybe just briefly bring that up for the league and we can kind of think about it going into next year?
Yeah, my thoughts, I guess, were to obviously discuss trying to figure out if we want to do a 5th roster spot. I think maybe it's a little different with the draft. You draft one more player, you kind of, I don't know, basically depletes the whole waiver wire at the beginning. But once we start getting injuries, things like that, it's tough to kind of hang on to a guy for a couple weeks when you only have 3 other options to play if you have an injury for a few weeks. So it's something I think would benefit the league in general. I know I've dropped a couple of guys that I really have no interest in dropping just because I don't have the space for them. So.
Okay, fair enough. Final question, and it's kind of a 2-parter if you want. Do you have any trash you would like to talk to either the team you stamped or the team that you play this week, week 7?
I mean, I can't, I got nothing but respect for the team I played last week. Connor had the 2nd most points in the league. It's tough to really talk a bunch of trash, and I'm lucky that he played me this week.
That's tough.
But obviously, if I'm playing Ron, I have plenty to say to that. Yeah, maybe you shouldn't. Maybe you should, instead of trying to find a job, maybe try and figure out your team on fantasy football because I just don't really see a way out of this week without you getting a loss. So you keep talking about how I'm going to be in this fertility ball, and I just don't see after I win this week and just keep winning how that's going to happen. So.
That sounds...
Did you say fertility bowl?
Yeah, well, when Ron did it. That's, it's like one of those junior situations where, what's his name, trying to have a kid. I don't know. I'm drunk as
Like
shit.
Arnold. You talking about the Arnold Schwarzenegger movie?
It's an hour early. I'm an hour ahead of you guys here.
Amen. Cheers to that. Amen to that.
All right.
I have a nice fact for you that I found on my own at work. No, I don't know. About Rhonda. So Ron's overall opponent record, cumulative, when he plays them, is 9-6. So when he plays a team, their overall cumulative record is 9-6. Let's break that down though versus the games that he ended up winning and the games he ended up losing. When he loses, those games he played, the opponent records going in were 2-5. So he loses to bad teams by win-loss. The 2 games that he's won, when he played them, their records were a combined 7-1. So he's only beat teams that are a combined 7-1, and he's only lost to 2-5 teams. So at 2-4, Jake, I think you're sitting very pretty this weekend. So I wish you the best. I wish everyone the best. So
That's a classic playing down to your competition situation right there from old Ronald.
Ron might be leading the league in talking trash, though. His smack boards are probably the most entertaining every weekend. So
The funny thing is
Most active.
the monitor that Jake's head is currently sitting on is the place that Ron sits about 12 hours a day right in our house in Falcon Heights as he sits on the smack board and tries to come up with clever things to say. So,
Well,
your head is in a great company space right now, Jake. Yeah,
it's nice and warm.
yeah, it's nice and warm. Yeah.
So, Spence, do you have any thoughts going into this next week before we wrap it up with our two guys here?
I usually wouldn't say a match between 2-4 teams is the game of the week, but Jake versus Ron might be the game of the week this week.
They're high scoring.
Yeah, they're high scoring. They've got big projections this week. They don't have to worry about that much buys, except for the guy in Jake's team name right now. So yeah, keep an eye on Jake and Ron.
That should be a fun one.
That should be a fun smack board to
incredibly muddled, like you said.
Yeah.
Muddled, man. It just keeps getting worse every
absolutely.
week. So maybe we'll see some separation, maybe not. How about Mr. Burdikin? Do you have any final passing thoughts as we proceed into week 7?
I've kind of two questions for the group. Kind of maybe try to bring up participation of my own. Who do you guys think has been the steal the draft this year?
The first thing that comes to mind is DeMarco Murray.
Yeah,
He's got to be MVP right now.
Yeah, I'm feeling pretty good about that pick. Third round, maybe. Second round?
Second round, I think, yeah.
I think Brian getting Andrew Luck wherever he got him was pretty good value too.
Andrew Luck, great call.
With him being the number 1 QB right now.
Yep. What else you got, Bird?
For Bobby Jackson, which of Belo's players bother you the most?
I don't have his roster in front of me, but I am playing him this week, so I have a pretty good idea who he's got.
Or Jared Cook?
Say that again?
I said it's going to be Storm Johnson or Jared Cook, or are you worried about Toby Gerhart making an appearance off the bench, wheeled off?
I think that one. I'm not Tony, but if I was Tony, that 1.9 point projection for Maurice Jones-Drew would scare the shit out of me.
He's had some rough times with running backs this year. There's no question.
Snap Raider has a job now.
I mean,
bottoms up for Matt Brady.
Oh, man. If I had to answer, I guess I would say, God, I don't know, Storm Johnson. I hate to pick on the guy. He's got a cool name, but a little bit more of a, well, now that I'm talking shit, he'll blow up for 25. He'll go Brandon Oliver on it, so maybe I should just plead the fifth. But, yeah, how about Mr. Hansen? Do you have any thoughts moving into next week?
Just hoping for a win. I really need it to get try and climb myself out of this trench that I've kind of dug myself into. So hopefully Ron doesn't bring shit this week.
On a serious note, though, one thing that you realize after a 2-10 season, even though I won the consolation bracket, I mentioned that time or two in the offseason. You enjoy every single win you get in fantasy football after a 2-10 season.
Bro, I'm not going 2-10, so I don't know what you're talking about.
I wasn't talking about you. I was just saying in general. Learn to appreciate every victory you get.
Are you talking to Bilo again? Because I understand where you're coming from, man.
You're right, though, man. Even after losing a couple in a row, it's like, good God, those wins are nice. Never take them for granted. But
some deep thoughts from league philosopher Burd and
yeah. Bird looks like he's on the other end of the customer support line when you call. I might be calling you later, Bird. My phone's been acting up, dude. Keep that headset on. Tim Hus! Well, this has been fun. It seems like every week we get a new fun way to do this. I apologize to Jake for the spottiness on the camera. He's going to see some interesting still frames of himself in this video, but the audio is great.
Perfect.
So we'll wrap it up here for, thanks for joining us.
Thanks, guys.
Jake Hansen, Mike Burdikin, Good luck to everybody in week 7, and we'll be back next week with another Mushroom Stamp.
From Falcon Heights, Minnesota. It's been fun. Let's hope these guys stay on more often. We'll talk to you next week.